1437 joining us for the cast. How are you going?
Good, good.
I'm pretty excited for this one. I don't know how much you've been able to catch of MDL, but this match, both matches for this group are highly important because OG is sitting a point behind Vichy, and then I believe that Newbee and EG are tied, and so everybody kind of wants that better seeding going into the tournament.
Yeah, I think
Newbee's turn to
in this matchup, like Newbee, people underrate them a lot, I believe. And the games against EG yesterday were like really good, and I expect very good results like in this game. I think it's a much more even matchup than people believe it to be.
Yeah, I actually think Newbee will 1-1 this one as well. When the tournament started, I too was on the I'm not quite sure. Newbee's had some shuffles. I'd seen them perform very well in qualifiers, but it was hard to judge them against those teams. And all the games we've casted have been fantastic. As you said, they played really well against EG. I wouldn't be surprised if they take a game from OG.
Yeah, but now they gave away with Tiny. I'm not so sure about everything I've said so far since they've given with Tiny to OG. But like Newbee's 2 openings is not that bad though against IO Tiny here, because Void, the new Void should probably be really good. If you like time dilate the Wisp, he's gonna be slowed by like 35% or 40% or something if he ults in, and then he's going to and Tiny's cooldowns won't be able to, start ticking down as well. And Void is not an easy hero for OG to kill at all, so maybe they have something planned.
I also think Newbee were in a rough spot when it came to picks and bans. The only thing so far in this tournament that's beaten Miracle's Invoker is Vichy when Ice was playing Phoenix. I feel like you have to ban the Earth Spirit because Newbee a team that recognizes how powerful it can be, and that just means the IO Tiny gets through.
I think you definitely ban IO over like Earth Spirit or something. Like IO is just a comfort zone for OG, and there would be a chance that the Newbee can even get Earth Spirit themselves because they like playing that hero a lot as well. So
yeah,
I guess maybe they just have a plan, I guess, for this combo of OG.
And as you said, it's something where I think for OG, it's really hard to zone a Faceless Void. We've seen this time and time again. Faceless, he gets a lot out of the off lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice paired with Gyro because he doesn't have to suffer like some of the other, not terribly ranged carries since he has flat cannon and cooldown.
The thing about Void, like if the lane's too hard, he just goes to the jungle with Iron Tail in, and then this game, all he needs to actually get is level 6, and then the Gyrocopter will set up, or like the Void will just set up for the Gyro throughout the game. And they're just gonna try to snowball the early game through the 2 ultimates.
Yeah. So for next pickups, I'm expecting that this is Crit and No Tail in the mid lane with the IO Tiny. I've seen them run it in the safe lane before, but do you think there's a good other Miracle hero to pick up here for OG?
Let me think here. It's hard to say because he hasn't played a lot of heroes in this patch so far.
You're really right on that. So actually, I was surprised. A lot of people are probably gonna flame me for this, but I was surprised OG was doing so well. They coming into this tournament had no games on the patch because, of course, winning a major means that you get invited to everything. You don't have to play qualifiers, and even though scrims are really good for you, I think that there's something to be said for practice in tournaments is better than scrims. I've been surprised they've been playing as well and not seen some degradation from no.
Yeah, I think the 2 games they played against VG, they've learned quite a lot just from those ones, and then they just switched it up a bit. And in the moment that they beat EG in game 1, it looked pretty shaky too. The starting of the first game, EG versus OG. Then once they picked it up and they started doing well, they understood the kind of style that they need to go towards to play.
Yeah.
And it's working out very well for them.
And as you said, I'm really happy to see teams adapting. I actually feel Dota's moving more towards not people who have flawless mechanics, but people who can adapt based on the fact that we are getting patches dropped much more frequently than ever in Dota history, it feels like. So.
Well, To me, I would definitely prefer patches where it's more about Dota mechanics and how you play than just some.
Turn to pick.
Oh yeah, let's just 5-man here and then we'll win the game or something.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. But OG not picking up something. I mean, I like the Dazzle here. Their team fights are going to have a lot of sustain. They still haven't told us if there's a bigger plan here since they haven't revealed another core. And with the Broodmother ban out, I mean, Mumienta plays a bunch of heroes too. So I like this from
10
OG.
seconds
Newbee's
remaining.
probably a bit worried about what they need to get.
5
I think
seconds remaining.
actually they're pretty comfortable with the heroes that they have. Like this is Moo's Death Prophet. He's loved this
Reserve
hero
time.
since forever. I mean, when they won TI, this was like his signature hero that he did it with, and I think he's just happy to be able to play this hero again, and it synergizes very well with Void.
10
Sky
seconds.
Yeah,
You
and-
actually know both teams really well, right? Because you've
Dire
spent some
team
time
pick.
in China, so.
Yeah. And Skyrath, that's another good combo. China combo. Skyrath, Faceless Void, TI4. This is just TI4 right here. Every single pick they have is actually just TI4. Nothing different going on for NewB at all.
Unfortunately, TI4, I would argue, one of the metas people like the least, but still, as you said, there's great combos here.
10 seconds
Yeah.
And
remaining.
even though the Dazzle can maybe Shallow Grave save someone who, if the Faceless Void
5
gets off a
seconds
good
remaining.
ult, I'm not sure how, even if Tiny's not caught, like, it's hard as a Tiny to kind of
Reserve
stop
time.
that. I guess you can Avalanche in.
I think one of the points that should be made is like they picked this DP because of the Dazzle as well. You have this long silence for both Dazzle, IO, Tiny. Like all of OG's heroes get super screwed if DP can land a silence on them. And the silence heroes are just really good versus Dazzle. So here they have two silence heroes, Skyrath and DP, and then they have Void as well. Can potentially chrono or time dilate the grave. And to me, OG's heroes, they're like really screwed right now by the Faceless Void because they're all like very low cooldown heroes, and they're very dependent on their cooldowns being refreshed in the middle of fights.
So
Time dilation looks like so good right now.
I also actually like the Death Prophet if it is a dual mid, right? I feel like Death Prophet has some advantage. The Spirit Siphon can be
Yeah,
applied
and
to
it's
do different
very
people.
DP is no longer that 280 movement speed hero either. She's much faster now.
Newbee's turn to ban.
So in the past, IO Tiny would do super good versus DP, even though she had like this long range nuke, but she had 280 movement speed. You can just run her down and toss her back. But now that's not possible, and she has the Siphon as well.
10 seconds
So
remaining.
that looks like maybe that's the miracle hero, Batrider.
5
I-
seconds
Bat? I have
remaining.
no idea.
Yeah, okay, so Miracle does play a lot of
Dire
different
team
heroes. It also,
back.
as you said, it could be offlane, but we've also been seeing. I don't know as well whether they will actually decide to put the Tiny IO up against the Death Prophets because of the changes, or whether they'll try to put maybe something like the Bat mid. OG is a flexible
10
team as well in
seconds remaining.
roles, so.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, because they
5
picked
seconds remaining.
like Dazzle, it probably says that the IO Tiny will be mid for sure. Because there's a lot of games where OG put IO Tiny safe lane. So I guess like thinking that way, that Batrider will just be an offlane hero, and they're just gonna pick another core, or like carry core Dazzle.
Dire team pick.
And this is officially TI4. Like,
Yeah,
we're just gonna Shadow
that's
Shot.
just like every single hero they have is a TI4 hero. Even Gyrocopter, like all 5 of this is just TI4 and Newbee. There's nothing different at all.
Okay, so OG need a hero. The thing that I'd be worried about, obviously, is that they can Death Ball very easily. Newbee's lineup has a very simple strategy here, and Batrider, you can
Well,
get a
it's
blink.
more than
seconds
Death Ball. It's
remaining.
just fight. Like they can fight all the time. That's what they
5
care about the
seconds
most. Like they
remaining.
just want to get some picks, get ahead in the game, then start pushing towers down, right? Like,
Reserve time.
hard to call this Death Ball because they are very cooldown dependent heroes. Newbee have Shadow Shaman, Death Prophet, and Void have really long ultimates. So they need to like use them strategically to just get ahead in the game and then be at a point where they can just constantly fight, and that's their actual goal. That Death Ball only comes because you're snowballing pretty much. If you do get some early kills, but if not, it's still fine because these heroes can fight at all points in the game.
I think what scares me the most
10
with Newbee's
seconds
lineup, though, you mentioned they have long ult cooldowns, but of course you don't need
5
to use all of them
seconds
at once to
remaining.
get kills. You just need Faceless Void Chrono and a cooldown, and then you can still have the Death Prophet ult up or the
Yeah,
Shadow Shaman
or
wards to seek
Skyrath
tower.
ult with
Yeah.
but yeah, so they picked the Razor to pretty much try to secure the safe lane against the Void, but I believe that this Razor is just gonna end up having free farm and Void's just gonna go straight to the jungle, and then they're gonna duel in mid with Skyrath DP. Void goes jungle with Iron Tail, and I think that's a much better for him than actually laning against the Razor. He won't get any XP bottom lane.
So it sounds like you're definitely favoring Newbee's lineup, or do you think that OG there's something they can do here?
I think Newbie's lineup just has more disables and spells available to them, and I feel that the Dazzle might not be useful just because of the amount of silences and disables that Newbie have. I
10
think Void is just a
seconds
really
remaining.
good hero versus Dazzle, if it gets to that point in the game. And I do believe that Newbie's lineup does scale better as well. The only problem with Newbie's lineup is they have no save at all for this Batrider. If at any point in the game
Prepare for
OG
battle.
do get ahead, like this Batrider can just completely out of control and they won't be able to stop him.
Yeah, and we'll see what Moon can do here. Moon, a very confident offlaner, but I mean, Newbie's no slouch either. And when you have a Skyrath, I'm not sure how you get much out of the offlane. I imagine Moon will be forced back to that hard camp or the jungle pretty early on against the Arcane Bolt.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna block the hard camp. This is interesting. Not a normal word that you would put. I'm not
Isn't it?
entirely sure.
Wouldn't it be super easy to figure out where it is? Oh, actually, no, they think it's
Oh, they
elsewhere.
think it's in the camp. Yeah, they're gonna sentry it.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
actually fantastic for
30
OG. That's pretty
seconds
nice.
to battle.
If they knew that the word was there, maybe they should have put it like right in the middle. That would have been legit. Like in the middle of those three areas,
Yeah.
like right here, and then can you see that?
Yeah, I can see your ping.
Yeah, if you put it like right here, oh my god, that would have been a beautiful D word.
Even it just like a little to the left. It's also something where obviously you want to get it before that first spawn.
Yeah.
Do you ever think it's worth it to wait just to because you can check which camp spawn and have a better idea?
Yeah, of course you can do that. That's fine. But, I think they just want to get rid of it because they don't want OG to know where the Skyrath is moving and stuff and how many supports are bottom. That's pretty much the only reason why OG would put this word anyway. And the first pull is very important to have. Like if you know that the word is there, then just do it. So Newbee were just like 90% confident that the word was gonna be there, and then it just wasn't.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Now we are gonna see Miracle and Crit in the mid lane. Obviously the Skyrath
Both are
comes
different
to
lanes, huh? Dazzle, Tiny, safe lane. Interesting. Which this probably means that the Void can lane top. He'll be
Yeah.
fine.
he's just gonna exchange hits. I mean, yeah, there's poison touch, but other than that, Fly's auto attacking him. He may even exchange better here. Since
Yeah,
he hits
the reason for this is because OG believe that the IO Tiny won't be enough against Skyrath and DP. They're just gonna get way too harassed by the dual ranged. Because the IO Tiny aren't strong until they get a lot of levels, right?
Yeah.
And it would be very punishing for them if they just put the two ranged heroes.
Moon's doing some cute stuff here.
Radiant's
I
bottom
actually
tower is
haven't
under
seen this in
attack.
any games so far. Oh, I thought he was maybe going to pull it to the horde camp, but he's actually just completely repositioning it. So this makes
Yeah,
sense.
this is super good.
And obviously this ward helping him do it, right? Because otherwise...
Yeah, and actually this also means that the Shadow Shaman can't pull to that camp. He can only pull to the right camp, and if he pulls to the right camp, then that rider can go there too and get XP. This is super good. Basically what the newbie had to do the moment the bat pulled the lane is he needed to connect the creep wave to the next creep wave that's gonna income.
Mhm.
I guess it's okay. The only problem is like Moon is gonna get all these creeps right now. He's gonna get the range creeps, he's gonna get these trolls, he's gonna get the regular creeps. He's getting a shit ton right now.
Yeah, he is going to get
just
health
kidding.
though.
How's in?
Rocket Barrage
the
comes
damage.
out. Yeah, he'll be okay, but as you said, that was maybe not the way Moon wanted that to go down. He's almost
It's
level
still
3.
fine though, because he put a lot of pressure on them, and that's all you want to do from the offlane here. He just wants like, okay, Skyrath, he got Skyrath problems.
Oh goodness, yeah, Arcane Bolt and Concussive Shock coming out, bringing him down. That is
Yeah, he got a bit greedy, like he wanted to go back into the lane there, but the Jara was like cutting him off, and the Skarath came too from the left side. He didn't notice that the Skarath left mid lane. Probably someone should have called that the movement.
And they also were doing good harass in mid lane though. I'm a little bit, as we mentioned, maybe not the lane we were expecting over here in mid, but I obviously an IO with good sustain. Reza has static link, which can dish out quite a bit of damage if they let you. The IO's been stacking up. The Reza has the same issues as the Tiny in taking these stacks with the new changes to the creeps, doesn't he?
Sorry, what was that?
The stacks in the jungle that the IO's been making?
Yeah.
The Razor, I'm not sure, are they going to just move the Razor off the lane for a while?
I think Tiny will farm it. Like, they're just gonna bring the Tiny there and take it. I don't think they're, like, this whole mid lane thing for the IO Razor is just so that, it wasn't an IO Tiny mid getting donked on by some DP Skarath.
Yeah.
Oh. Skarath might be in a lot of trouble. They stole DP's. Oh, just kidding.
Yeah, there's.
Try and hit him. He has a lot of damage.
The very fighters come out, but 2 auto attacks will do it. Miracle's taking damage from the tower as well, but crit. Yeah, settling him up. That was actually really interesting. I haven't seen. I wasn't sure who'd win out against Spirit Siphon versus Static Link.
Well, the Static Link was like super good, right? So he static links the DP, so the DP can't hit him when he goes for the Skarath, and the Skarath has to run away or die, pretty much. And then he just turns on the DP when the DP try to attack with literally 0 damage. And his Siphon Soul, I mean Siphon Soul is just not that good until like much later, right? Like early game it's good to save you or like harass opponents, but it's not like a spell that's gonna kill them or something. Compared to level 2 Link that gives you so much damage.
Now Moonmead is oh, he'd been jungling. He was getting low, was checking it out. He's already got his Tranquils up though. He's in a decent spot. It's 21 CS. Oof.
Void is not having the same happy time. That was just a really good hero to punish a Void. It's hard to really trade hits with a Dazzle, and then he's got poison as well, so it's gonna slow you trying to get there. And the thing about Void, like, early game, he's not as tanky as you think, because his level 1 time walk is like 24-second cooldown. People often forget that, and then they get completely punished in lane. Because they just lose too much health trying to think that they're Imba.
Okay, too late. They've got an entire group of them, but yeah, he can just jump down the cliff and actually just...
Yeah, No-Till's giving no creeps to this guy. Like, he's not going to take it to the tower. They're just going back to zoning. But there's like a quad wave right here. There's a lot of creeps.
Both sides, actually.
Yeah. It's like a...
Yeah.
Got level 5 now. He's okay. At least he's got levels. And that's the one bad thing about getting double or triple wave like this. Uh-oh, he has no time dilation yet.
Yeah, he just picked it up.
Now he's got it.
And he'll be able to jump away. Look at that, he's all the way back up to half health.
He would have died if it wasn't for level 3 time walk. That was pretty lucky, because he got level 3 time walk like the last level, I believe, or the last creep.
In mid, we're gonna have a static link, but I'm not sure if they have the damage, and a TP rotation and concussive shot onto Miracle. Should be okay. Cooldown coming out. This is super early rotation. He's taking a lot of damage. Will he get hit? Yes, he will. And now Miracle as well.
He can chase him down.
Oh gosh, we'll see if the Rocket Barrage can hit. Moonmeander not healthy enough to come in. The Rocket Barrage isn't close enough. And now Hal is sitting there with no mana for another Rocket Barrage. Miracle. Okay, there's gonna be Grave. Oh, it doesn't come out in time.
They did not see the conclusive shot come out, and he just instantly died. This is like the new Grave too. Has a pretty long cast time. Grave from like last patch is like pretty instant, right? So.
Yeah, oh, and in top lane, we're gonna finally see the Faceless Void go down. He'd been playing on the edge there with that time walk. Really well done. And actually, Moonmeander ended up taking the creeps in the jungle, so he's getting close to a blink.
Oh, okay. That's actually pretty good. Because I thought they would just farm up this tiny super big, but I guess completely forgot that Batfighter can just farm it and have like a 9-minute dagger this game. from the offlane is really good.
It did take him 2 different instances of Firefly just because of that cloak on the creep,
Yeah.
but as you said, I think it's very much worth it getting such an early Blink Dagger.
I guess Tiny would have very similar issues to
Yeah.
doing stack in the jungle.
Everybody does except for like Gyro and Luna right now. Maybe Dragon Knight? No, Dragon Knight. Beastmaster? What I was thinking of. So, is this a smoke? What's this going on?
So they're just gonna start making space, and the Shadow Shaman is like getting level 6 now. And OG do the same thing. They immediately smoke and go attack the offlane. They understand if they stay top lane, this Void is just gonna chrono, and then cooldown's gonna come, and you're just gonna die straight up. So instead of staying in the safe lane and farming someone, they're just going for the aggressive move instead. And now Newbee will be the one to die first.
Yeah.
This is very smart play from OG. Even though Newbee are the one who probably wanted that to happen. Oh, Razor, he has no idea what's happening right now, I think, because they think he thinks they're all top.
Tower is under attack.
Oh, but they just drew...
kidding, pink.
Yeah.
Pink players drawing on the map. And
Oh,
this hero's
look at
way
that.
too fast. 3 levels in unstable current. Miracle, no nuke, no plasma field. This is actually such an interesting build. I've never like seen a build like this.
I too. Okay, so that's why I asked you who was going to take the jungle because he didn't get Plasma Field 2 on again. Drops the wards, and now he will go down. The wards are in a really bad spot. Too late. 3-man Chrono Spear. Moo gets off a nice Crypt Swarm. Now has the Exorcism and Time Dilation.
Tiny
comes out.
He's gonna die.
Oh no. No tail going down. I think crit as well. There's nothing in sight for him to tether to.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Yeah.
under
He'll
attack.
just,
Skyrat is trying to cut him off maybe here. Wow.
Okay,
He would
time
die
off.
for sure. He had like DD on DP too.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna live there.
Yeah, I think, as you said, ended up being a bit of a dive and just setting up for a really nice ult coming out of that Faceless Void, but this game, incredibly close. Even with all of that, it's very even across the board.
That was like a super dive from Chuan. Like, he made sure that if they're going to go for him, they have to dive, and then he dropped the wards too and did enough damage that Newbee can just come in and kill 3 people out of it. Oh, Moon with dagger now. He wants to make the play. Who's going to TP in for this? The Raven's coming.
Yeah, I don't see how gets out of this. There's actually no way.
Yeah.
So,
that was
will only hurt
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it seems like it's very on-point play by both teams. You mentioned what they need to do here on both sides just to kind of stay in it, and I mean, obviously they dropped it, they know what they're doing, but both teams very similar timings on smokes.
Yeah, that was pretty cocky by how to be bottom lane. There's no reason for him to be there whatsoever under, and the tower's like full HP too. So all of OG's heroes are reviving, and you just don't hit towers when opponent heroes are reviving for sure, because that's exactly when they want to go on you.
Yeah.
And I think he's sort of hitting himself in the head right now. That's one, because they lost a lot of momentum with that death, and he was 3-0 too. And now they just lost the tower, and Newbee have all OG have all of their towers up.
Yeah,
I think there's like some statistic that the team that takes the first tower right now has like a super high win rate.
I actually really wonder about things like that. As you mentioned, there's momentum to go behind it, but it doesn't feel like anybody's really pulling ahead here. There's a slight net worth and experience lead in favor of OG.
It's more of like map control. Like when you take the tower, the net worth doesn't show right away, right? Something that develops over the next 3 to 4 minutes. That's when you need to see what happens as soon as the tower dies.
Yeah. And for jungling, especially since this Void, he's gone on Iron Talon, you do expect him to spend quite a bit of time in there. They can pick him off. Oh, we're just going to have wards dropped. Okay, this should be an easy mid tower. The wards are going to have also
they're going to use
Exorcism?
DP ult as well. That's a lot committed for this mid tier 1 right now.
Yeah, there is a big silence, but now the Chronosphere catches 3 again! Moon taking a lot of damage as well from the Skywrath ult. He is shallow graved up. Too late. He has the time walk out, and the tower's gone down. Death Prophet also died on the back there. No Tail came in and killed her. How? And they're still going? Too late. He doesn't have anything to fight.
Alright, I think that was super good by OG, because like they got the chrono and they all want to go in, but they tunneled on the heroes that were chronoed, and then Tiny just comes in from behind and kills the DP, and suddenly there's no damage. And Jaro was not there either. Maybe if Jaro was there, it could have been a different fight, but he didn't want to go and commit to that tower when they already used Rasta wards and DP ult. And that's another big momentum swing as well, because now Newbee spent all their cooldowns and all they got was tower out of it, and they lost a DP. So OG can like strike back right now and get so much from the map. This is the time when Newbee want to be farming and OG are attacking.
Tiny, he doesn't quite have the damage, but the plasma field.
Perfect.
That's suddenly, surprise, level 3 plasma field. Razor actually opting not to go any points in Eye of the Storm.
Yeah, and like right now OG are attacking and you can't do anything if you're Newbee because you don't have your big ultimates. Look at Void, he's just sitting top farming because he understands that without his chrono he's useless. And the other 3 heroes are just sitting mid because they don't want to get picked off anywhere. And this is one of the issues with losing bottom.
There's gonna be a Mystic Flare, but it's not enough. And again, Moo getting very low, Tiny comboing them.
Yep.
The Blink Dagger timing, you mentioned this because, you know, obviously Tiny needs it, but they just such a big advantage with both of them.
Well, it's a combination of Tiny or like Tiny getting dagger and Newbee losing momentum by the moves that they do. And this still goes back to the tier 1 tower died because they don't have that lane anymore for other heroes to pushing out. That's when DP wants to be bottom and pushing out the lane. And the tower there to support him. Oh, here what they want to fight. Cooldowns are coming back. Chronosphere in 2 seconds.
Can he get it off on anyone? He wants to. Oh, he just ends up using it on one.
IO's gonna relocate him.
Oh,
Perfect
goodness
relocate.
gracious. And they might not even
Yeah, he didn't get stuck in the chronosphere. He waited till the last possible moment.
The exorcism
the
does
silence
come
on Tiny.
out.
He had the dagger out.
And it looks like Fly will end up going down. The relocate back in. They are turning Miracle into a frog. We'll be seeing Woods doing so much damage to Miracle though, and with a Mystic Flare as well. Oh, but
They're
the
fighting around the
double
wards.
kill. Tiny manages to get them, and now it's looking like Moon dilated up. There's still Exorcism, and this is the cooldowns you're talking about. No Tail can't combo anybody down again. Moon has to be careful a little here.
He's probably gonna be fine, but the ghosts are giving away where his location is.
Oh,
Here comes the heals though. The heals! Oh, is it gonna make it? No. Oh, that's all rough. The heals were just coming in. The ghosts were returning to him. And he would have been like full health.
That team fight, as you said, it happened under wards, but still, this Tiny, I mean, I know toss combo is huge. He's got 2 points already in grow, but it is ripping through new lineup.
Yeah, there's just a lot of like that chronosphere. It hit one guy, but the IO just negating that made it really bad for them.
And it was also the first small chronosphere of the game, I feel. The previous ones had been all on 3, this one only on 1, not catching the IO.
So right now, OG want to fight again while Chrono is down, and then that's why they're already up on top lane playing aggressively. The only thing is IO still doesn't have ult for another 8 seconds, but once he does, they're not going to be afraid at all to fight.
Yep.
Oh, the deny.
Has been denied.
Yeah, and Moonmianda immediately jumping in seeing if he can get someone, but the silence comes out from Skyrath.
He's gonna have Ags really soon on Tiny. Super rich. That's super rich as well. He has like 4 staff in 300 gold. Considering he was just some offlane hero. But then again, did take 3 towers, so 4 towers now.
They've also been able to successfully stack, I feel like, with the IO, you know, sometimes when we see the IO stacking, we see the supports from the opposing team rotate in and gank the mid, but it's very hard, as you talked about, with the Razor's move speed, it feels.
Yeah.
So they just...
It's very, very hard to kill this guy. Like, his build was perfect, actually. I don't know how else to describe it.
I've really never seen it. And as you said, it ended up working out fantastically. The DP couldn't go on the more if the Skyrath started coming up.
Like he went 0-3, right? Like he went static link over plasma, and that's the right build for sure. Because his static link applies a lot more pressure than plasma field does. Because the moment you cast plasma field, you understand that Razor is not dealing any more damage than that plasma field just did. But once you're linked, then you're really fucked. Like maybe you can get away, but then OG just back off too, right? And then you just reset the fight at another time. So, and now he's like insanely strong because he got this skill build that allowed him to fight the early game very well.
Newbee do throw a smoke out, but something else that I feel they're suffering from, they're constantly grouped up as 5. This of course also hurts their... Oh, no, okay, Moon. He's just having a blink into them. I think he broke the smoke on Tule. So, and they might be smoking up themselves, but I was gonna say, it does feel like Newbee's also having some trouble finding bomb on the map, because they keep grouping up for these big team fights.
Yeah, also that they lost 4 towers. It's really hard
Yes.
to TP back and farm lanes out. And you don't, like, the biggest thing is they're grouping up because the IO Tiny on top of that. So, they lose all their towers, they want to fight, and IO Tiny is threatening them if they go by themselves at any point in the game. So 3 big factors, me making OG just straight up shoot ahead. And to be honest, I would say all this will factor in from that one time gyrocopter died on the tier 1 bottom. That allowed OG to just snowball that the opponent tier 1 and Newbee couldn't take any towers during that time.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. I always find it's really amazing in Dota how, as you said, one little thing can just turn around the game there. I definitely thought OG would have... It feels like their lineup was a bit harder to execute, but as you said, they found the pickoffs and then kept playing around the ults. Newbee, they'd have high ground defense, right? You know, you've got a Chronosphere. It's excellent for defending your high ground. It's just as you said, if the ults are down, what do you do?
I mean, you do have high ground defense, but you're playing against Dire, which is very difficult to play high ground defense against when they're gonna just get Roshan every single time. So
Dire's top tower.
you're just gonna be punished. Like you're gonna defend high ground. Eventually, you're gonna lose some heroes, and then you're gonna buy back, and then what's the point anymore? You don't get any more items, and OG will always get items. Like Newbee would win a fight perhaps, but they can't get anything out of it because they need to use all their cooldowns to take a fight, and then after their cooldowns they can't take towers. But OG can always fight because their cooldowns are much lower this game. And I also talked about how they have no save for the Batrider. So the Batrider is gonna have like the most absolute free time grabbing someone and just getting away with it. And it's hard to play high ground against a Batrider too. Finds one person out of position at any point during a push, and your fight's just over.
And at some point, Fly's gonna buy him right a gem, and then Newbee will lose all map vision because it's gem Batrider.
Yeah.
It just gets smaller and smaller, the space in this game for them.
I think the fact that Newbee thought that they were ready to play against the OG IO Tiny was just the biggest mistake probably they made this game. It's just more complicated than just, oh, some 2 heroes are TPing into a fight and we're just gonna fight them back with our super spells. It's so much more complicated. In the game, you just feel so stressed out that you can't go anywhere to farm, and you're playing differently, and that stresses you out even more. And then the game just goes out of control because you have no idea how to make a play unless you're gonna fuck up. And they come to you. Oh,
speaking of that,
this is pretty good.
Yeah, if they can catch them,
they
actually break them.
They have to catch the IO. Oh,
no,
they only got IO though.
It's only IO, but it is still a big kill.
But that's a smoke play, so it's okay. They got IO. They can get some control on the map now. But Void still doesn't have Chrono up. Like, this is the only spell that they can fight off of at the moment. So
yeah, the Exorcism just won't be enough. Tiny will burst her down. She is a bit tankier because she went the Atos, but it doesn't feel like enough against an Ags Tiny.
Yep.
So for Newbee, I think, as you mentioned, it is hard. It's very much OG's game to lose now. I imagine that when the IO's back up, you take the lost tier 2, and then you start working on high ground. And items also, did Bat end up getting a gem or anything? Yeah. Oh, he's got a plate mail up. Okay. I don't know if that's going to be turned into a Shiva's or not. Could just be what they need to get through. Also, Steven, I don't know. The Batrider has picked up a plate mail.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It could be Lotus Orb. It's not that bad.
Okay, Tiny, he's initiating, and he is going to be silenced up, and the ward as well. Yeah, it is, and he's also being buffed up by the IO. He will finally go down, but they use 2 different big ults there, as you talked about.
The fight separated big time.
Yeah, Tiny, he's over here. He's actually going for the gyro, as you said. They are going to get the kill. One more auto attack. Miracle, though, being held up, but Tiny stops that, and now Moon's right in the middle of it all. Miracle's still alive as well, although whether he'll be alive for long, Moo manages to finish him off. The cooldowns, because of time dilation, in a bit of trouble, and the Chronosphere is back up. So
Yeah,
they
that
may...
was so good for Newbee right now. But the fight's not over yet. They still want to go back in. Because Newbee think that they just backed off complete.
Yeah, I feel like Too Late has ways out of this, but the Tiny just links forwards.
He might just have to use it. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, yeah, he's gonna be fine.
That wasn't a bad play by OG there now, like to try and force something out. But like it was really bad that OG tried to they overextended hard by going in without the Batrider initiating first. Because like I said before, they have no way to cancel Batrider lasso. They can just play patiently with the Aegis and let the Batrider grab someone, kill him, and then go high ground. But instead, OG initiate with Tiny, lose their Aegis, and the Batrider grab the Gyro away from the fight. And they couldn't even kill the Gyro right away. So now Newbee, even though they were behind, and they still are behind, that was like the best situation that could have happened for them from everything that did happen.
Yeah.
They got Aegis and they killed Razor and another hero. Who was it? Dazzle, I believe?
Yeah, they did on the back lines, and I think it was just a case of they placed this ward and saw them, and then their smoke broke, so maybe, as you said, they wanted to make something happen but went on 2 different targets. This also means the big thing to me is Chuan suddenly has a blink.
Yeah, he was pretty close before, but yeah, now he has it. It's okay. And they have all their ults up again? No, they don't. They don't have Chrono up, which is kind of weird for them to fight without. They'll do it anyway.
Oh, Chuan, get the ward!
Wow.
Oh no, it's not quite, and Moon is in a lot of trouble.
Dazzle, yes.
Yeah, they're gonna lose the Dazzle.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, relocate out?
Oh, just kidding. That was
Io...
so good. That was good. They had to save the bat there. Like, forget about Wisp. You need your Batrider alive.
Yeah.
But it's way too hard to play the game if you don't have him alive.
So Crit will go down, and...
They delayed like 12 seconds as well, right? Like, they had to wait there for the IO, and then the Razor and Tiny can just push out lanes during that time or farm up, which is okay. That was another weird... Like, this was actually Newbee's good move. Like, Chrono is cooldown, so they go and fight anyway, because this is the time when OG won't expect Newbee to fight at all. So they make a smoke without Chrono being up, and they just catch someone with Shadow Shaman and drop wards. And this is what they have to do to crawl back into this game. They just need to like drop their wards on one hero and just keep doing that until they're back in it, or like make OG buy back. Try to make them use their resources in other ways.
And the item progression is coming out for Newbee, even though, as you mentioned, I mean, they've had trouble farming because of the map control, but they've got the Vlads and the Blink up on 2 layers. We talked about Chuan's Blink, and Silly Moo has a Yule's as well, and this will prolong the exorcism in these fights, even though she gets blown up. And Miracle gonna drums away.
But this is too close to the tier 1. They forced 2 TPs, that's good. He forced 2 TPs, but maybe they can fight if they chase him down. Oh, the Tiny, it's hard for the Tiny to get there right now though.
Oh, but Moon has already gone. There's gonna be the
that's a pretty good portal. You can call down off.
It's going on Miracle though, and cooldown. Will they be able to get anyone out? Time dilation, stopping this engagement. Newbee taking this game back. And now Crit may also fall. Rocket Barrage, he is dead.
This is so fun because like this all happened because Tiny decided that he wanted to be a hero and use his Aegis on mid lane. Right after they took Roshan, like this is the struggle that all teams face. They get Roshan and they immediately try to do something with a fresh Roshan Aegis, and then they lose it, and then they have nothing to do in the game anymore. And Newbee have so much momentum after all of that. They see that, you know, OG lose their Aegis and they don't feel scared anymore. That's how they kill a mid. Then they smoke the top, kill someone there, go bottom, force OG to make an error without Tiny there, and now they get 2 towers from it. Jesus, they're right back in it.
Another mistake, right? Because they got those 2 in bottom lane, and they can be getting a tier 3. This is, we don't talk about this much, but I have to imagine if you're OG, they're very experienced, but you're a little bit worried. You're like, oops, we've made a couple of mistakes here, and
I mean, they still feel comfortable, right? Like, they still feel like they're ahead in this game. It's just that the only reason why they're losing fights is because they're not they're not able to cast any spells. Like all the fights that OG lost was before they could use anything. at all on their heroes. It's either 4v5 or they just get picked off. So I think they're okay mentally. It's just a really fucked up position to be when you get Russia and Aegis and you spend it right away. It's never a good idea to do that.
And it just delays the next push so much. We'll see. Do they? This should be their wall smoke for a while. Yeah, they have another one that they can use on Newbee. But if they get something out of this as well, since, you know, they're smoke because the chronosphere is up, just out of sight of this ward. So Newbee will be surprising someone with a chronosphere. And as you
they
talked
nuked
about,
on the mid wave though. I'm not sure if somebody was watching that, but
certainly wasn't Moon. He is hanging out in this jungle, and as we talked about, big
Moon.
kill, Chuan! Okay, he blinks away immediately, Chuan follows, gets him into... Yeah, and he's got the shackle. Moon is going down. Can he find any way out? No.
Yep.
This is really nice play coming out from Newbee.
What are they on? They're on like a 10-0 or something right now? Like they got 10 kills?
Yeah.
In the past? It's like 8-15 before, now it's like 18-15, I have no idea. But now they're getting completely right. Oh my god. Like this game was just thrown right out the window. One fuck up into Newbee playing absolutely amazing after that. Like,
the irony, have you seen Newbee's other games though? This is normally where they mess up, actually. Their team fight is, I wouldn't call it weak by any means, but I would say they're not actually as strong often team fight wise as a team like LGD or OG, and they are just performing insanely today. Maybe it's new day, you know?
The thing is, Newbee is like a team who does super good against other top teams. Like when they respect their opponent, they fucking play amazing. That's just what happens with this team. Like when Newbee started losing a lot of their games, it actually started by when they started losing to like lower tier teams. Even when they were losing to teams like VG couldn't beat for a long time after the TI4, and then they became a completely shit team. But now it's like very similar to that too. They just do super good against top level teams. Like even EG had a really hard time playing against Newbee in all patches, and yesterday too they went like 1-1, right? So.
What do you think contributes to that?
It's just a mentality thing. Like some people just don't respect opponents, and when they don't respect opponents, they don't play good. But when you respect your opponent, you're like playing at your best, depending on the kind of person that you are. And that's what Newbee does. Like you see how, or like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to point fingers at someone or something, but it just seems that way. Like they play more united when you play against a better team because you respect them. You want to beat them. You're gonna play more together, and when you play more together, you're just like owning hardcore.
Yeah, it's really nice. Oh, and we're getting my first instance of perfect world lag. Hopefully it'll just pause in a second, but I may do a quick restart. It's just looking really good as we talked about for Newbee. Yeah, actually I'm gonna give it a quick restart. Tell me if anything happened.
It's fine. It stopped lagging. Yeah, you can come. It was just for like 3 seconds or something, but yeah.
It's fun.
I mean, I think you just have to wait, because that one was just like some small spikes or whatever. But it should be okay.
Looking around, they're grouping up mid, looking for a tier 2. OG is
this is a chance. But then wards are placed and DP ult used. They really don't want to fight anymore. Like, this is a disaster to fight into, especially after losing 10 kills, and they have Aegis up as well.
Yeah, they lost a 7.5 thousand net worth. If you're OG, do you just try to farm elsewhere, get your tiny silver?
You want to fight like as soon as this DP ult goes down, or if someone lingers on Newbee side, but no one's gonna linger right now. They understand that it's just back time. You just forget about this. Like the time when OG wanna go in is when Dazzle ult is like at about half, and DP ult is like gonna go down too, if that's the case, and that they're just Newbee's just not giving that opportunity anymore. They were behind at one point in this game. They don't want to be behind ever again.
Yeah, it's really nice to see this. I think, as you talked about, actually being behind helping them a bit, because they realize they need to play better and more coordinated than they were before. But either way, the heroes on OG, they're still farming well. Tiny is maybe just casual moonshot. I know that they like that on this lineup. Could also be the AC, although Miracle picked up another plate mail, so.
Yeah.
And the smoke
Here's
coming
a
out.
smoke from OG, the behind smoke. Like they understand they need to do something about the cooldowns.
But look at this. Newbee's already all the way back in their base.
Yeah, but the Batrider can grab someone in their base for sure. This time he can do it. Because DP ult is cooldown and Rasa is cooldown. They won't risk it. Like, they understand that they're not in a position where they have to risk some play like that. But they might have to, because I think once DP gets Octarine, this game is gonna get insanely hard for OG. Like, that item is so clutch on DP. This hero just changes the moment you get that.
I think as well, we were talking about it before with Aegis potentially being in OG's control, how they can just kind of slow siege the towers, but it actually becomes very similar for the lineup of Newbee, albeit not with a DP with an Aegis, and she's an awful Aegis carrier, but as you said, they can just drop wards and have her exorcism a tower and then back out, and then next time do it to the racks. They've got options for the slow game.
So this game came to a point where Newbee's lineup is just like, their teamfight is superior, right? If someone doesn't get caught up by Batrider before the teamfight starts, their teamfight is just superior. So now Newbee can actually contest every single rush or take it for themselves. And that's a really big point, like, that OG put themselves into. They put themselves into a point where like Newbee can take their Roshan, which should be theirs all the time. From my perspective, the point that OG, when they were ahead, the second Roshan was when they could actually take Raxus. And instead it's in Newbee's side, which means that they got, how much gold did they get during this time? They got a lot of gold because they're up 2.5k, which means, and that's like 2.5k on top of what OG was already farming. And OG's heroes farm pretty fast. Bat, Tiny, Razor, and stuff.
Now, even if OG gets behind, they do have the IO Tiny. They can always potentially do some relocate backdooring.
This is true. Yeah, the Newbee don't really have enough heroes to can just TP back and fight against the relocate combo place, or like a backdoor place.
And if you want to be anybody, I feel against, it hasn't happened yet, but if OG do lose a lane of racks, it's good to be a Tiny against that. There are worse heroes to be. So it's not by any means, I think, super over, but I do agree with you. I'm not sure how you fight into Newbee. They need a pick-off here, but now OG needs a pick-off on Newbee, and Newbee had been playing together earlier. Now they just have Chuan chilling up in the tree line with
they really want to get some sort of pick or something, but I don't know if this is even possible to do. Because like, when you play against IO Tiny, you can't just look for picks with 2 heroes. So they're literally just sitting there so that they're not sitting in their base. They don't want to show that they're just sitting in their base. Shadow Shaman.
He does blink away. They could have the relocate play, although that would give away a lot to Chuan. No tail goes for it, a little bit short, and now there's no way to interrupt. He could get a range.
That sucks. No catch for them. Still 10 kill advantage for Newbee right now, or they're on like a 10-0 run or whatever it is.
I mean, it's just it's very difficult to find something here. The item is coming out, having a Shiva's opposite. It doesn't super help you because his damage is. It's not from attack speed.
No, I think it's good. The Razor Shivas.
How is it helping though here? Because I feel like there's a lot of magical damage still.
Magical damage, but he has a BKB, right? And Tiny has a BKB. So if both of those heroes just use their 10-second BKBs, then the only way you can deal damage is, I mean, sure there's Rasta wards, but the armor helps a lot, and then the Void and the Gyro still get much lower DPS. Like, in Dota and pretty much in any games, defensive items are always going to be more beneficial than offensive items. So the Shivas is like the best item he can build, unless it's like a butterfly or something, but you can't really build butterfly against Gyrocopter that well.
For Fly, should he be getting something like the Aether Lens? Just because we've talked about time dimension, it's a huge area, and they need, I think, unfortunately, both the IO and the Dazzle will be hit by that. They're not getting the anytime
I think
soon.
he has much bigger items in mind than Aether Lens, probably like a Vlad or something, because Aether Lens doesn't help him enough for the team. If you know how Fly plays, like, he's never gonna buy an Aether Lens, I think.
How come?
He's more of a team player, and he'll always look at the items that the team needs, like that will help him fight better. Aether Lens will not help them fight better. Like, he won't care about his own spells being longer range or anything like that. they'll think more about like buying Vlad's mech or buying a Solar Crest or Aether Lens in this game, so that you can Solar Crest your Razor, Knee, or Dejaro when they go in.
Speaking of evasion, Lay looking like he might be up Heaven's House for the Titan. He has a Sond. I can only assume that's going on the Sky Rat.
Yeah.
So
That's a pretty interesting build, and I don't see a lot of supports do it, but I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It could have been some other item. It could have been some 4-staff. That might have been better. But this does give him more HP.
that is something. If they can be ghosted by the team's initial ult, they have a great team fight. I was actually a bit confused. They entered the jungle without the smoke. Oh goodness, team fight. They're looking to run right in, move.
They have a ward there. This is so bad for OG if they
Oh
get
god.
caught.
Yeah, they're getting caught. It's looking like slide. Immediately blown up. 290 just to catch up Chris.
Oh, he got
but
shot.
no
No
deal.
deal got shot.
He's got
And
the BKB.
the gems on the ground.
Oh, can
Oh,
they
they don't get the arcane rune.
Oh, and Chris ended up dying in the corner here. Now, gonna be pulled up. No longer has the BKB. Moon caught him with a save, and now Miracle going forward has a nice scope up on him. Moon Exorcism isn't doing enough, so don't jungle them.
Oh jeez.
And they
Like,
like
they-
their no kill streak.
Yeah, they used the gems underground. With Newbee have all the vision they could possibly ask for, but they used too many spells on the Dazzle. They used Silence and they used the Hex. And then all of a sudden OG are just free to do whatever the fuck they want. Like Tiny just blinks in, it killed him at the point. That's the best thing that OG could have done. It killed the 2 swords immediately. And I guess Tiny with 10 skin BKB can't do anything, and Rasa didn't even drop wards either. If they dropped wards actually before he died, that would have been so good, because at least then Newbee can sit around the wards and they can let OG be able to kill anybody. But instead OG just hunted them down because there was no way to turn and deal damage against a tiny BKB and raise BKB.
At the same time, it's still, I feel, back even because Basil's Void has up the Chronosphere. Next, they're gonna have for OG. We talked about high ground earlier. It is dire. They just can count slowly away. I'm not actually going for the tier 2 top, but
Yeah.
It's still not necessarily. I guess you can put a tiny. You'll probably get. I don't know if you'll get the rack as well.
No, they won't force it again like that. Like, this one they're gonna play a lot smarter. They're gonna slow play it and then get the Batrider to lasso someone and bring them out. And then they're gonna, like, turn a fight. I don't think the Tiny is gonna initiate first ever again, unless it's on the support hero.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They'll get this one looking like they're getting it almost for free. Miracle's gonna come in.
Radiant structures
I also want to mention how powerful the Shields was in the last fight to just hunt down the Newbee heroes.
Radiant's top tower
They
has
couldn't
fallen.
run away at all. And they couldn't turn and fight either against the BKB. Like, they just had no damage output to turn and fight.
Once the Chronosphere was used just on, obviously you mentioned the spells being used out on the Dazzle, but I think part of the problem as well, these Chronosphere, just the IO,
Yeah.
I think expecting OG to try to sacrifice those two, but OG turned around and didn't even get the IO Chronosphere because Faceless Void has built utility.
Yeah. They said catching the Dazzle was enough to just beat them down, like chase them down, but OG just manned the fuck up. Killed them
And
all.
it's really good to see this. This is OG's first tournament on this patch. Something where obviously, now they're getting all this nice map control and thinking maybe of going bottom. They should have 3 minutes on that. It's a little under. Oh, and DD on Noted? Okay, RNG.
Looks like he won't be able to do much with it. I maybe should have considered bottling it up at the dagger and using it as soon as they got to the base, and then started pounding on the tower. But OG are like, they're in no rush. They wanna like delay the Aegis as much as possible before they actually make a play. Cause as long as OG hold Aegis, Newbee are getting choked out the entire time. They have no intentions of making the same mistake that they did during the first Aegis play. Delayed this game by 21 minutes.
And if you look at the network, this would surprise me too, right? It's one team fight, but as you talk about the working out effect, suddenly OG again at 7.5k gold ahead.
Yeah.
The same experience.
Yeah, it's like every time you see a team take Roshan, it's not as soon as you take Roshan, the network changes just the next 3-4 minutes. The same with towers. You want to see how the net worth changes in the next 3 to 4 minutes, and this is like 7,000 difference I get already since then.
Ooh, there's gonna another rune that if they could use it immediately, it could maybe help out. But Moon's just gonna push out the lane.
Yeah.
Some.
Oh, he did buy the low surplus. Very good. Much,
He used
much better.
fight and
Yeah, look at the OG's heroes. Like they're so fucking intelligent with their item purchases. One guy has Shivas, other guy has Tiny, the other one has Lotus Orb, and then on top of that they have a Dazzle, who gives like a shit ton of armor. So you're pretty much neglecting all sorts of physical damage from Newbee side. On top of the Shiva Aura fucks up any physical damage output as well.
it's
So the only way that Newbee actually do well in fights, if they catch someone with their pants down and not BKB. Okay,
okay.
my opinion
no,
with the
Tiny
the
and then
just kidding, Tiny.
yeah, and hold
And
on it.
there's
Plays
no rocket
very well.
words here either.
Hotel thinking about just backing around them.
Oh,
Where
he
is the
doesn't
rest
care.
of his team? Oh no, Tule being caught out by Moon. He's already used that ult, and now they've even put the shallow grave on Notail. It doesn't matter. He's gonna come back. It's gonna be a nice time situation on a lot of them, but at the same time, Mirror.
Moon's getting stomped on by Razor.
And this is a
Scotty
Scotty.
Shiva.
Look at how Ruby he's getting taken down. This may be at least rash. There is a buyback on the directly past that. If you go down here again, it might be just game. We'll see. And he's poking away on this tower, no tail. This
They're gonna get everything. They're gonna get all the buildings there. There's no way Newbee can fight at all.
Oh goodness. And suddenly, just like that, this game blown wide open. But either way, I think Newbee still put out a great fight. We'll see how the Rockets be the long stand of the game for that top racks. We call it.
Radiant's middle
Really,
barracks are under
I mean, I think it was actually a great play by both teams.
has fallen.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting how like fight just got turned. You think that the way that they should play, or sorry, the way that Newbee like smoke into OG, or like OG go into Newbee, that the team that's initiating is gonna win the fights, but instead it's the other team